pull this up really fast. All right. Hey, Silhouette, welcome. Welcome. Okay, I already ahead of time set up my window shifting thing because it gets annoying to me to have to make you guys wait while I figure that out. So, one shift. Oh, except I have to turn it back, turn it actually screen capture on so you can friggin' see, of course. Okay. There we go. Yeah, sorry about last night. We had a really busy week at work at my day job, so unfortunately, that was not fun. I am, this is really loud. Let me turn my headphones down some. I am salaried, right? So if extra hours are required, extra hours are required, and I just kind of have to do it. Hey, Kessa, welcome. Yeah, sorry about the confusion. It was just the previous stream that would have happened about 14 hours ago. It's just that stream that I had to skip because I ended up that first stream is for me the end of the day Friday, but because I had to work extra time Friday, it made me miss that stream specifically. But this stream and the next one should be fine. So, my apologies. So I don't know if you saw my stream from last week, the last one that I did last weekend. So it'd be the one last weekend, the one after the Black Mirror one. If you sometime during the week watch that or not, and if not, that's fine. But it's another point and click. So on Halloween, I did one called The Whisperer. So this one, I thought it might be a sequel. It looks like it's not even remotely related, but it's the same developer, and it's called The Whispering Valley. So that'll be the next one that happens this weekend. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately. It's fine that it's not related, but I started it last weekend because as Dusk Falls takes a huge amount of my hard drive space, so I have to manage that. Anyway, so because of that, I was like, well, we'll come back to that after I've played a few things from Halloween and cut down the number of other games I have installed. Then I'll have the space, and then we could do As Dusk Falls again. So I need to play things that I played on Halloween and finish some of those, and then we'll do As Dusk Falls again. Anyway, so and one of those would include I cannot think of the name. Song of Horror that we're currently doing on Fridays, well, except for not yesterday. Song of Horror is included in that list because that's from a previous Halloween, right? That's from Halloween of 2022. So, but yeah, as I play through some of those and then I uninstall them when I finish playing them, then I'll have more room, just not yet. So, yeah, so we are trying to do stuff out in the morass, the swamp that once upon a time was the Manor in Wales. Although, like I'd mentioned last week, and you guys already know, of course, it already was in the process of being reclaimed by nature when we played the first game, because the church that had been on their land, I guess meant to keep people more religiously minded or something. Anyway, that church had already started sinking into the swamp in the last game. So obviously this is not new. This has been going on for a while. They just, with people I don't remember their names now, but with the aunt and uncle of Samuel in the first game that were here, when he died, and then she, I guess it looks like, left the property. Obviously nobody's been around to care for it, and so it's fallen into decay more quickly than it otherwise might have. Before, at least she and he were there, and so they had a couple of servants, right? One for sure we ran into. I think there were a couple, and they would have tried to help tend to the gardens and stuff. And now obviously they're not even there anymore. So I need to figure out how to lift this off. I have a chain, but I can't. What did you say about the chain? Something like you need something to hook it to, right? And we had that hook on the door to the workshop where the uncle used to be, but I don't currently seem to have a way of getting that off of there. Don't know. So I thought it obviously is not going to work, but I thought maybe I take this rope and use it with the metal bar. You can create you can create a certain degree of torque with that, right? You wrap the rope around the bar, and you attach the other end to what you're going to do, and as you turn the rope, the force of the rope pulling against itself is eventually going to twist whatever's on the end. But I guess that's not going to be what we do here. So
I don't know why Angelina had lifted the lid off the sarcophagus, but she did. I'm sure of that much. The question is, how can I do that? The lid must weigh several hundred pounds. Angelina must have definitely had some kind of suitable equipment on hand, as opposed to me. The slings could definitely carry the lid, and I've put them on so that the lid can't tip. The lid is partly fallen in. That would appear to have been a few years back, though. Obviously a wild, romantic place. Only the stinking swamp outside ruins the atmosphere.
I appreciate that. Although I don't think you gave too much away last time, but that's fine. I do appreciate it.
The trees only have their first branches quite high up, and barely any leaves. They're obviously not doing too well, but they're still too thick to break them and bring them down.
Not that. Or that. I don't know why I would use the worn out hose, yeah. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. See, the the problem with trying to get that hook to do something up here would be, well, I mean, I guess it depends on how big the hook is, but if it's just like one of those small hooks you might use like in a house or something, you'd manually twist it in, the screw end of it you would twist into like a wall or something, and then you would hang something from it. If it's that small and that type of hook, that's not going to work, because how are we going to reach way up there to attach the hook, right? But if we do the sides, not, I mean, the side would slide the lid off. I don't know. Not sure. Keep poking around, see if I can find something I didn't notice before.
No. I don't need to strain myself there. It's well fixed.
Um, display cabinet key. That display cabinet key, that's for the museum, right? I don't remember. I think so. Was there a toolbox downstairs? I don't think I want to go upstairs where Bobby is, but maybe... Cell phone. Maybe I need to go up where Bobby is. I don't know. I thought there was... No, there's just pizza boxes, right? Yeah, I don't think there are any tools or anything here that I would use. So. Poor Bobby. Yeah, I know. Now, he knows, to a degree at least, he understands what happened. They kidnapped Darren. But I think he probably got convinced that it was for a good reason. Right? Like, if we don't kidnap him, he'll hurt people you love, or something, kind of an idea. And so Bobby was like, well, I don't want him hurting the people I love, right? And so he was willing to go along with it. It's probably something like that's probably what happened, I would guess. Because he's not malicious on his own. At least he definitely does not seem like it. Unless he's faking. If this is the usual suspects kind of a thing, that's different, obviously. But unless it's something like the usual suspects where it's faking, then I think he would not be the type to kidnap somebody out of any kind of greed or malice or anything, right? Even something like vengeance isn't something really in his thought process, right? You hurt him and he would be upset, like, why did you hurt me? And maybe he would think you were mean, but he wouldn't want to fight you back. He doesn't seem like he's that kind of a person. So, I mean, if that's the case, I can't see him kidnapping on his own, right? He had to be convinced that doing so was important to save the people he loved or whatever it was. Well, this didn't really.
A battery-powered toy car. When you turn it on, it just goes dumbly straight ahead. Looks like it's hardly been played with.
Exactly what does he say when you do this?
Great idea. Oh, but sadly I've forgotten my crane. You know, the one I wanted to hang the pulley from?
I already tried it on the trees outside. Wouldn't do that. And I've tried it up here. Oh, I was over here. Does he do that then?
A good plan. Unfortunately,
That's where it is.
The thing doesn't have hooks.
That's where the hooks come in. That's right. And then the hole is no, right? Yeah. The trees. One more time, but I'm pretty sure it says, yeah, it doesn't say anything. Yeah, that's why that hook seems to be what we want, but I'm not sure how I would pull that out. Yeah, none of those. As expected, I didn't think the only ones possible. I don't honestly think any of them, right? Maybe the hose, and even then, it's like, but why? Like, what is the goal of using the hose on that? It's forwards. There's probably like some small stone, or not a stone, but you know what I mean, like some small thing, tiny thing that I've somehow missed in my searching. I'm gonna hang the car from the hook because, you know, that makes sense. I think. What is with the trees? Why? I don't think any. There might be a combination I missed, but I don't think anything in my inventory combines with anything else. Not currently, at least. And I can't seem to interact with the trees at all either. He can look at them, but none of the stuff in my inventory goes with those either. So I don't know. There's definitely something I'm missing. Because, and although you had mentioned this last time, Kiss, I don't think it gave it away because I was thinking something like that too. Like, if I'm in a swamp area right now, then something tied with a swamp might be what I want. But I have not been able to find anything other than those trees that I can't do anything with. I'd examined these things before, any of these that showed up, and now they don't let me examine them anymore. So I'm trying to figure out. Maybe it's something with the marsh, but I don't know.
Luckily, it seems to have not rained here for a while. That's why the morass is relatively hard and dry. Otherwise, I would have sunk in deeper, and might not have been able to get out on my own.
But I don't have. It's not like I'm going to grab any of this, at least not with my current equipment. None of this works when I try to use it on the marsh. And clicking on the marsh just as the description.
Luckily, it's otherwise I would have.
So I can't actually just directly use it either. I'm going to use the picture of Angelina because reasons. That does remind me, though. It's not directly tied to this, but it does remind me that there is, maybe it won't be anything, right? But there's the camera. See if there's anything I should take pictures of, maybe. Like maybe I don't remember his name, but the boy out front. Maybe. So water tap. Attach this to that.
The rip in the pipe is so big that I can just as well let the water splash onto the ground. A completely filthy water tap. Well, who'd have thought it? It still works.
The question is, what does that do for me, though? I'm getting close. Not quite yet, but maybe soon. Give me a minute here to try some things that I've not
Luckily,
done
it seems to have not. Otherwise, I would have.
Okay, if I turn the water on, so that didn't go back here, it looks like. So maybe that went out front. Possibly this moat, but I cannot interact with the moat, so not there. Nothing here. It's no worries. No worries. No picture of the boy either. Don't do a picture of Bobby, right? I don't think so. Let me see. No. Okay.
A certainly old, but still functioning water tap. A certainly old.
So I guess we're leaving that on. It turned it and it turned on, and now it's just a description. So if that is on, what? None of this other stuff makes sense. That, yeah, but that's broken. If I repaired the hose, maybe, but I don't know how it would fix the hose. I don't have any tape or glue or anything like that. He says this is still dry, so the water is not going there. I would think the water would go here in this moat or canal or whatever you want to call it, but I can't even look at that now, so I don't know. Yeah, so it's either go to the castle or just examine the water tap again. So I don't know what the water did. I would assume it did something. It's possible it was just there for flavor, and so he just says something and then it's on. But I'm guessing it does something. I just don't know.
The trees only have their first branches quite high up, and barely any leaves. They're obviously not doing too well, but they're still too thick to break them and bring them down.
Well, yeah, okay, Kissa, go ahead and give me a hint. For some reason, I can't find the one thing I need to find or something. I would have sworn that hook is what I need, but I can't seem to do anything with it. I don't know. Nothing back here in the swamp further in. Outside the main building. Okay. So I missed something out there. Got it.
That's it.
I started the water on, but this was already swampy. So let's see if anything new shows up here, but I'm guessing no. Back to the garden. Now, when you say the main building, do you mean this big manor, or do you mean where the hook and all that is? Guessing it might be the other. This scene here, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Well, I mean, once I went back out front, obviously, and was searching, and then I thought about it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I probably mean over here, right? Yeah. Oh, you do mean the manor scene where the boy is. Okay. My mistake. Okay, let me keep looking over here. Let's see. We got windows. And we got vines and plants. When I was started thinking about it, I thought you maybe meant that by the main building, you meant that other one, because that's really kind of, it's the workshop, but it's like a more main building than the crypt. But yeah, I guess this makes sense that this would be the main building. Let's see. Let me talk to him again, see if he has anything more to say. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe he'll give me a hint or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, car and axe.
Hi
there. We
there.
go.
Hello.
Yep.
Hey, look!
Ooh, my car!
Someday, maybe. You gonna pause and drive in his car? I have no idea. It's like the game is locked into a loop. Okay, let's just do this.
Hey, buddy. I've got to get going, okay? But, can you hold the fort here?
Of course.
Of course. Okay, let's grab the hatchet.
The little guy's hatchet. Oh, it's seen better days. Can I just borrow the hatchet?
Yeah, of course.
Alright, now we can cut the trees, probably, right? I'd forgotten that he had a hatchet on him.
This'll take a while. The axe is real blunt. Okay, I felled the trees and trimmed the trunks for a good 1.5 yards. The tree trunks are about an arm's thickness and pretty long. Now, how does that go? You can somehow rig up a tripod out of 3 pieces of wood. So, and then like so. Yep, exactly. And now, 1 tripod. Just has to be erected now. I'll position it as well as I can over the sarcophagus.
There we go. And now we do this. Not this. Not the key. Pulley on here. Right?
Great idea. Oh,
Let's see. So we've got this.
a good plan.
Doesn't have hooks.
Okay, it's standing real firm. And I think it's gonna take the weight of the slab. The trunks are freshly felled. They'll hold quite a bit. It's the rope that's the weak point. I'll hang the pulley on the rope. I'll try to get as much of the rope as I can. The length just makes it. Real careful. I hope it's gonna hold.
I don't think so, but in case it has a chance of collapsing in on me or something, let's save it. Suddenly his head's crushed because he's looking down into a makeshift pulley system or something, or a sarcophagus with a makeshift pulley for lifting.
What have we got here? Steps leading down. Huh.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep, it's good advice.
The gap is big enough to squeeze through. I only hope that my rig up doesn't collapse as soon as I'm in.
So it's going to, right? As soon as we get in there. Oh, it didn't.
Whoa.
Okay, that's good.
Now where's this then? Looks like the inside of a tower. And here's some kind of crater in the floor. Looks like something's exploded here.
It is the Dark Tower! Yeah, that'd be what killed Richard. or whatever his name was, right? The explosion.
Chains, wrought iron rings, crudely hewn stones. Not exactly what you'd call modern craftsmanship. Rather more like a Frankenstein movie. The safe survived the explosion undamaged, I'd say. These burns may have well come from a welding set.
Excuse me. Liquid went down the wrong pipe.
It looks like there wasn't any fire. There's no charring in the rubble. An explosion which caused this kind of damage in a closed space? Sir Richard wouldn't have stood a chance.
Yeah, poor Sir Richard. Okay, so I'm assuming since he talked about welding marks here, we need something more than our little lock-picking tool. We need like a combination somewhere. Oh, a tube? Oh, interesting. What was that?
A piece of plastic tube. Okay, I'll stick it in. Rather light. The walls of the pipe are thin. Maybe it belongs to part of a ventilation system or something.
Folder?
There's paper lying everywhere. Most of it's soaked through from rainwater. Huh. Here's a folder. It's only wet on one corner.
Tear?
Whether the crack goes back to the explosion or appeared later, I don't know. Whichever the case, it doesn't look good. Logic tells me that the tower has been standing like this for years, and so the chances are pretty damn slim that it's all of a sudden gonna collapse this minute, just while I'm here. But my gut tells me that I shouldn't stay here any longer than I absolutely need to.
Where are you planning on sticking that tube in, Darren? Yeah. What is that for? Yeah. Welding set.
Whoa, hey, a welding torch. Angelina was using some heavy gear. But it doesn't look like it's been used. The safe wasn't cut open. Works perfectly, but it's not gonna help me much with the safe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking is, because he had mentioned there were marks on here, so we're gonna need a combination. Maybe it's in this folder.
Newspaper
Let's see.
cuttings. From 1981. 12 years ago. William Gordon in fatal accident, Willow Creek. William Gordon fell on Tuesday from his studio in the tower of his home due to unknown causes. Blah, blah, blah. William Gordon, suicide. As the police today announced, we are now dealing with the fall of the master of Blackmere Castle, close by the village of Willow Creek. In all probability, a suicide. Here's another piece a week later. Grim serial murders in Willow Creek. Blah, blah, blah. Latest victim of bloody trail, Vic Valley, just 12 years old. According to police sources, his body was found next to a stone circle in the woods. The condition of the corpse gives reason to suspect a ritual killing. Another 2 weeks later. Main suspect in Willow Creek murders identified. As Scotland Yard has announced, it has been established that at 3 of the murder scenes, there are signs which suggest the involvement of Samuel Gordon, the grandson of William Gordon, who was killed last month. Samuel Gordon was found dead 2 weeks ago at the foot of one of the towers of Blackmere Castle. Apparently the tower from which his grandfather had previously... Reports about the murder fest in Willow Creek 12 years ago. No wonder that Sir Richard was interested in it. William was his brother.
Frankly, I'm a little surprised. Unless we find out later. Maybe in this game or the next game we find out later that it was what I'm suggesting. But I'm actually a little surprised that Richard was not the victim. Like that Samuel didn't have something that he decided to do against William. Or against Richard, I mean. He killed William, but he did not do anything to Richard. Seems a little strange to me, but who knows? As far as we know, at least in the first game, Samuel left here and went back to the Black Mirror Castle without ever doing anything to Richard here. We knew Richard was basically going to kill himself with all of his experiments anyway, but...
The poster survived the explosion relatively undamaged. It was probably hit squarely by the pressure wave and then pressed against the wall. Here's a table showing the occurrences of blood groups.
So A positive, B negative, B, A, O negative. Okay.
Here's a table.
Wonder if this has to do with the combination on the safe, but normally those are numbers, so it would be strange. A positive, B negative, B, A, O negative.
The kid reckoned that Angelina looked real pleased with herself. Somehow she must have got the safe open. Now what have we got here? A combination lock. But not with numbers, with letters.
Okay, so maybe we just go with A, B. Oops, there we go. B. A, B. Crap, was it A, B, B, A?
Sheesh. Here's a
Yeah, you
table
can't figure
showing
it
the
because-
occurrences of blood.
A, B, B, A, O. Okay. A, B, B, A. Oh, there we go. ABBA! Dancing Queen starts playing in the background as we open the safe.
A metal holder with several blood samples. The boy mentioned that there's a number on each sample, and there's a list of names stuck on the back of the safe. Now let's see. Weird. The numbers 1 to 5 are missing. That's Richard Gordon and William Gordon. Gordon's blood. What does Angelina want with that? Does she need it herself or something? Or does she want to stop it getting into other people's hands? Whatever it is, I can't trust her anymore. She's in this thing somehow and she's lied to me. I ought to drive back to Willow Creek. Maybe she's turned up there in the meantime. And then we'll see.
Didn't remember a newspaper here. Does mean Samuel wasn't responsible, but it looks like explosion was implied in previous games happened because of Samuel's trick. Maybe the game developers forgot. It may be. I don't know. I feel like maybe. I mean, when did the explosion happen? If it did not happen too long after, like we basically come from here, we go back to Samuel goes back to Willow Creek, and then it's maybe another couple of days before the end of the game, right? I think it's only 1 or 2 days from here before, I mean, in game days before the game ends, right? So it's possible maybe Richard, because Naomi, whatever his wife's name was, she kept bothering, or like bugging him, saying she really was upset that he was always locked in his laboratory and wasn't doing anything with her, but also not really worrying about the property elsewhere or anything. So maybe she bugged him enough that he spent time with her or working on the other part of the property, and he did not get back to his, even though he's obsessed with it, maybe she bugged him enough. He's like, fine, I'll do this other stuff and get it out of the way. So maybe he did that other stuff for a couple of days and then went back to his laboratory and then killed himself with the explosion. I don't know. It's a little puzzling. Not so much that I suddenly have a problem with the game or anything, obviously, but it is curious. I'm not sure what that means exactly.
There's nothing else in it apart from the blood samples. And I know what I had to know. Angelina was after the Gordon's blood. The question is, why? And what have I got to do with it?
Back out to the crypt, but we've not been to the passage yet. I don't know if we are going to, or if he's just going to have something to say about it. We'll see. Let me go ahead and do this.
I can't get through there. The passage has collapsed a few yards in.
I see. Yep. Okay, so I think just back. Let me double check, but I don't think there's anything else to get inside here. Already looked up there, but he's not gonna do anything with that. Yeah. Okay, I think we're done. Because that poster was the clue for the safe, so we're done. We don't need the poster now.
Whoa, you've been in the crypt? Are there coffins in there?
Yeah, but no vampires.
Shame.
Well,
Shame.
what is it then?
A car! The other man's back!
The other kidnapper? Huh. Thanks for the warning. Okay, run home and tell your parents they should call the police, okay?
Cool.
He said run home,
Gotta
so he
be
walks
careful.
leisurely.
Tom won't be too happy that I've disappeared.
Yeah. That would be. Because this one actually is more likely. This collapse, maybe, but this is actually more likely to be a thing where maybe you could die. Because if you need to sneak past Tom for whatever reason, and if I'm not able to, then he might kill me, right? So. Nothing here right now. There's still that odd hook. I don't know what I do with that. If anything.
No. I don't...
Okay. There's not a sneak command in this, so I'm assuming he'll just get down and sneak along if he needs to when the time comes. Yeah, here we go.
Tom's car's back there. Maybe I could hotwire it and...
I don't care what's happened to your head, you useless pisswit. Make sure you get the old cow on the phone. I'll look for that bastard.
I'm never gonna get to the car. Tom would see me, and I think I've seen a weapon. Looks like there are two options. I can wait here for the police and then explain to them for hours on end what's going on here. Or I can lay a trap for Tom and then steal his car.
Something with...
A certainly old, but still functioning water tap. That wouldn't do anything. The rip in the hose is a good yard long, and the tube isn't even 18 inches. I can't mend the hose like that.
Okay. I'm thinking it might have something to do with a moor or whatever back here. The marsh.
I could try to lure Tom here, but I'm sure not gonna wait until it rains and the moor softens up.
Yeah, steal Tom's car, not criminal at all. That's right.
I ought to fix the hose first.
Yeah, how am I gonna fix the hose? I don't have...
The piece with the rip can't be repaired. I'll cut that bit out. Okay, now I've got two halfway usable hose ends. Yeah, great. The tube fits exactly in the hose. Not. If I heat it up first, it ought to expand, and then I could connect the two hose ends.
So we got the welder. Okay, so this here.
No idea how that's supposed to go.
We'll heal this up, heat that up first. That's what he meant. And then it would expand. Right, I was thinking you said the heat the hose up. No, it's heat the tube up.
If I heat up the plastic tube, it'll expand. Then the ends of the hose will fit into the tube. I think that'll do. It fits. Just wait a bit while it cools down. Done. It's a pretty close fit on the hose. No more water's getting out of there. When the water flows through it, that'll cool the tube down completely.
Right. I guess the question is that going to be long enough? But there's only one way to find out, really. Let's see. I'd also be surprised if he doesn't come over here, though. Especially since that's where I've gone. Like, why wouldn't he come look over here? Maybe he's just looking somewhere else first and then comes over here. This would be one of the first places I would look, probably, honestly, but...
It's on.
I'd be like, if he's hiding, a bunch of buildings over there, maybe he's hiding in those buildings, right? I mean, I don't know what's back here. If I'm Tom, probably, right? But still. Okay, so
For a start, I ought to position the other end of the hose somewhere.
Yeah, but I don't. There's no. Oh. I always forget they do that in this game. Even though the object is not in your inventory, they keep it in your inventory so that you can use it later. I keep forgetting that. I don't know why I can't seem to remember that they do that. Okay, this to here. There we go. I was like, where's the other end of the hose? It's in my inventory. Duh.
The hose is in position.
It was just like last time or the time before at the farthest back where there was something I needed to use in my inventory in like that whole sewer area or whatever, and I wasn't able to figure out.
Okay, good. Let's put the whole swamp underwater.
Later.
That ought to do it. From here, it doesn't look all that different. But I've pumped at least 20 gallons of water into the ground. It'll be noticeably softer than before. From here, it doesn't look...
So now how do I get his attention? I just go out front and do like a talk thing on him, and instead of walking over to have a nice chat with him, we'll yell and he'll come running? Maybe. Alright, since I've done enough things since going out initially, we'll save it one more time.
Okay, let's hope everything works as planned. Hey! Tom!
Stop! Stay where you are! Don't move or I'll shoot.
And I'd bet that'd be the highlight of your last 5 minutes on Earth, Tom.
Get me out of here!
Huh, why should I? Weren't you gonna shoot me just now?
I wanna get out of here!
Then throw your weapon into the swamp and give me your car keys.
I'll...
You'll what? Die in utter misery?
There. Now get me out of here.
Not so fast. Who ordered you to kidnap me?
You're supposed to pull me out of this!
Was it this secret society?
I don't know anything about a secret society.
The Order. That means nothing to you?
Yeah. Okay. I was supposed to find you, knock you out, and bring you here.
Yeah.
And then?
She was going to call me on the phone and give me further instructions.
She.
A woman. Sounded quite old. No idea who she is.
And she didn't want me staying in Willow Creek?
Yeah. I was supposed to bring you here as soon as possible.
Do you know who belongs to the Order?
No idea. I've only ever seen these nutters over by the mine. They were wearing masks. I don't know who they all were.
Personally, rather explain things to the police than leave calm to tell there's a dangerous maniac on the loose who stole his car after trapping him. Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on with Angelina? Is she involved with all this?
I've already told you. I don't know any Angelina.
Tja, I'm inclined to doubt that. She was only in the village a few days ago.
Then I didn't see her.
You would certainly have noticed her.
One more time, I don't know any Angelina, and there was nobody sniffing around the village either, except you, okay? Throw me a bloody rope, will you? Or something or other.
All right then, I'm gone. The police will be here soon.
Get me out of here!
Why? Do you seriously believe you're gonna be sucked to the bottom? Idiot.
Do you really think I would make you, like, I would kill you by putting you in quicksand?
Excuse me, sir. There's been a letter delivered for you.
Who delivered it?
I don't know. It was in the hotel's post box. But there's no stamp on it, so it must have been delivered personally.
Huh. Thanks.
Yeah. How
Hey,
rude.
It's from Angelina. Dear Darren, I haven't been completely honest with you.
I've been concerned with Willow Creek in Black Mirror for some time, and it was you I was looking for in Biddeford. I stumbled upon something there that I don't want to write about here. I can only tell you this much. You are in danger. There's a group of people who are out to kill you. They were already after you in Maine. They caught me here in Willow Creek. I managed to escape, and I've been hiding in a safe place since then. I found out today that you are here. I'll explain everything to you and hope that you will forgive me. No, I know that you'll forgive me when you know the dreadful truth. Come to the old lighthouse tonight at 11 o'clock. Make sure that no one follows you. I'll explain everything to you there. Together we can put an end to this whole thing. Take care of yourself, and trust no one. You don't know who might belong to the Order. Angelina.
So the lighthouse at 11 tonight. Okay.
Huh. Angelina's alive. That's the good news. But what kind of a game is she playing? Can I trust her? She lied to me. She knew about this place the whole time. And I'm sure she wasn't unfamiliar with Reginald Boris either. The question is, what side is she on? What's she up to? Either way, I'm gonna find out this evening at the lighthouse. But I should take some precautions. The only place where I'll get a few honest answers is in the Chronicle of the Gordons. Once I know which role the Order plays, perhaps I can deduce what game Angelina's playing. I've gotta find a way to read the Chronicle in the museum.
Yeah. It did not begin with that. Like, that's not the first time that it shows up. I can't remember. I think there was a story, a detective novel from the 1930s that I read one time. But it's the same idea. I don't know if you've seen them, but in the third Indiana Jones movie, there's the guy that hires Indiana Jones to go look for his father and find the Holy Grail and everything. And then he turns out to be a bad guy. And he says in the early part of the movie, he says, and Dr. Jones, don't trust anyone. And then later in the movie, right, when it turns out he's a bad guy, he says, I told you not to trust anyone. You should have taken my advice. So it's the same idea here, right? Yeah, and like I said, that was like in a 1930s novel or something like that, where I read it the first time. Not the same wording, but basically the same idea. Like the person who says don't trust anybody is also somebody that you cannot trust. Anyway, and it's probably earlier than that too, but at least that early, I read that principle. Anyway, and so the point is, Angelina says, don't trust people because you never know who's part of the order. So that does make the possibility that Angelina herself could be part of the order, right? I don't get that vibe from her, but that does not mean that she's not involved. Some people are very good at pretending, right? For example, look at like with the whole Me Too movement stuff that happened with Hollywood. I mean, it happened elsewhere too, but like the stuff that focused on Hollywood, right? With Harvey Weinstein and stuff. For years, he would be around in parties and stuff, pretending to be this nice guy and stuff. He was with Oprah Winfrey. He was with, a bunch of other people. And it turns out he was a sleazeball, right? He was a total scumbag. So now honestly, if I look at his face, he looks like a weasel. Like he looks like not a very good person. But you cannot judge by appearance, right? But either way, the point is, he was one of two, like the Weinstein brothers owned the Miramax film company. So he was one of two brothers who would give new filmmakers, like new directors and stuff, a chance to do their movie where they otherwise would not have an opportunity. And so everybody thought they were really, really nice, right? They'd help out new directors and they were really good for the industry and stuff, when in reality they were very toxic and corrupted and just doing gross things, right? Well, I don't know about his brother, but Harvey at least for sure was, right? So anyway, so you get the idea. You never know who you could trust. They can look good and be totally not. Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying you need to be religious or not to understand the principle I'm going to say, okay? But it is a principle that comes from the Bible, which is not just... So there's the really well-known saying, beware a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? When it pretends to be, on your side and stuff, turns out to be a traitor. But there's also the idea that a devil can appear with angels' wings, right? There's a mention in... and I'm in America, so even though a lot of people in America are not religious, there's a lot of religious influence in America, so I know a lot of stuff from the Bible and so on. So, and you don't have to agree with me. I myself am Christian. You don't have to believe what I believe. I'm not trying to convert anybody or anything. So don't worry. I'm just saying that this is a principle in the Bible, though. There's a character. His name is Lucifer. He is supposed to be was supposed to be like an angel, like a really high level angel in the court of God. And he betrayed God, right? And there's even a part where it says, something like, you're fallen from heaven, Lucifer, morning star, or something like that. So the point is that, right? He appears like an angel, but he's actually a demon or devil, right? So that's the principle extended to reality. You don't always know who you can trust. That's the point. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so you get the idea. Like I said, I'm Christian. You don't have to be Christian. I'm not trying to convert anybody or anything. I'm just, since I'm quoting from the Bible, you understand, or kind of quoting. I don't think it's an exact quote, but the reason I know some stuff from the Bible, I know a lot of things from a lot of things, though, but the reason I know some of that stuff is because of the religious influence in America, and so I understand some stuff from the Bible. I also know a little bit from the Quran. I also know a little bit from... anyway, you get the idea. So, let me think. We still don't know how to get in the museum, right? I'm trying to think if we got the key to the cabinet. Did we ever find a way to get in the back part of there? I don't think so. But I guess we can head there and see if maybe something that wasn't accessible before, because maybe we were not far enough along in the game, maybe that will now become accessible. So let's do that, I guess. Game's not going to have me show up to town and kill me, is it? Just in case. I'm going to read you if I don't need to. I don't think so, though. I'm sure the police got Tom. And nobody else probably knows that I'm here at this point. Oh, I guess I just do this, right? I forgot. This way, I think, is what we want. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, wolf in sheepskin. That's right. That's correct. And so that's the same principle. And that one I quote from the Bible is exactly the same idea, right? An angel or a devil that can appear with angels' wings. Like, the idea is that a demon or a devil can look really holy and wonderful and good and turn out to be really bad for you, right? You have a similar principle in the Catholic tradition, right? Where they said that there were some, I don't know if it's Catholic tradition or just medieval superstition, but there's the whole tradition of succubus and incubus, right? A very attractive man or a very attractive woman who then takes you to their bed, and it turns out they're actually a demon and they're sucking out your life force. The idea with Bram Stoker and vampires, it's the same idea. The whole romantic aspect of it looks really great. You fall in love with them, you think they're wonderful, and turns out they're a monster. Yeah. And obviously there are life lessons for these, right? Maybe there's somebody that you date and you don't read the signs because you're so in love you ignore some signs that maybe they're toxic, and then you get in a full relationship with them, whether you're married or you're just in a long-term, like, you know, living together kind of relationship or whatever, but you're in a long-term relationship with them and they turn out to be very abusive and stuff, right? There are a lot of life lessons in all these kinds of things, right? So that's kind of the point of a lot of these things from the Bible and from the Quran and from, you know, fairy tales and folklore and stuff. A lot of them are just trying to teach you life lessons that don't make an assumption just because you see something looks one way. It could always be something else. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's well, I've spoken enough on it. There are plenty of examples, but anyway.
I wouldn't know what to talk about with these two.
Right. Oh, and these are the German tourists or whatever, right? That's right. I forgot that they're I can't tell from the back of his head. I didn't know that she was here, and I couldn't tell from the back of his head. No, and she's there, yeah. Nothing more. Yep, that's right. Yeah, in most cases it turns out to be knowledge that I would not use very often, almost never. But I know a lot. I have a broad amount of knowledge from I mean, you see the bookshelves behind me. I read a lot of books and stuff, not just religion, like other books and stuff too. So there's a lot of stuff going on in my head. So I make connections to things, and there are life lessons in a lot of works you can read. Frankenstein's monster, right? Don't judge a book by its cover is one of the lessons. You know, same idea, right? Don't judge Frankenstein's monster as evil, inherently evil, just because it's confused and doesn't understand what's going on, right? The monster doesn't realize, right? But also don't try to play God. Don't be Frankenstein. Don't think you know everything, and so you're gonna elevate yourself to think you're so great, and then it turns out you can't even control the thing you made. Things like that. Various different kinds of lessons, right? Anyway. Yeah, here's her true nature. That's right. That's exactly right. Yep. And he doesn't know what to talk about with her either. So there's that, but he can't get in right now because tourists are here.
Bobby's gone, but I'm not gonna get my hands on the book as long as these tourists are around. Perhaps I could hide and wait until the museum closes. Perhaps I could...
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Bobby won't be checking. So we're gonna hide in the Black Museum. Is that what we're gonna do? I guess probably. But oh, Samuel Gordon, you rapscallion, you, killing people on the operating table. Such a little troublesome tyke. Yeah, because these are not gruesome at all. Some people go a little bit overboard, just a tiny bit overboard. And then this, of course.
A shredding machine? What's that all about? Shredding machine from the Garden of Black Mirror Castle. Who do the mysterious traces of blood on the inside of the shredding machine belong to? What kind of gruesome stories could this machine tell us about its former owner? In what kind of bloodthirsty crime did it play an incisive role? A mystery that will probably never be solved. BS.
BS. He says that, but we were there during the first game, so yeah.
The window is locked and alarmed.
Yeah. Talked about hiding. I don't know if there's really anywhere in here to hide. What is... There's the chest, but I'm not going to be able to climb in that. Not without them noticing, at least, if nothing else.
No. I haven't got time to spend the whole day wandering around the village. I've got to get at that cabinet, and then to the lighthouse this evening.
Yeah, how am I gonna hide?
I wouldn't.
If he doesn't know what to talk about with them, then obviously I'm not going to say something that would distract them. Same here, right? Yeah. So, where can I hide? Not behind here? He's not going to... He doesn't go behind at all. Yeah. So not there. Can I not go behind here either, right? To the museum. There was this closet earlier, but I don't think I can get into it now. Right? Maybe.
A great place to hide. So I've just gotta wait. The museum closes in an hour.
Be a little more obvious. I'm sure nobody will suspect you're trying to do something. What the crap? It's ridiculous.
Hard to believe that I really did fall asleep. But it's only just after 9, and I've got enough time to have a look at the Chronicle and then go to the lighthouse. It's damn dark here. Good that at least a few lights are left on overnight.
This key here.
It's open.
Why is there the key here? Interesting. Anyway.
And therefore our brotherhood should operate in the spirit of this great man for all time. It shall serve be our for if no
I
F
probably wanna
remember
go to the
or no
beginning.
e wary.
There's a page here to flip. I think I'll do that first and start there. Let's start at the beginning.
Let's have a look then. This is where the part about the order seems to begin. Only the brave actions of this valiant man preserved us from Mordred. It is to him, Father Matthias, that we owe for our life and freedom. Let his name not be forgotten, no less his doings, which we carry with us in our hearts. But nevermore shall the destiny of our community lie on the shoulders of one man alone. A man who may not possess the strength of Father Matthias and cannot withstand the powers of evil as he did. Therefore, a secret society shall be founded. The most decent and brave men of our community shall belong to it. They shall guard the academy and the key, the sacrifice room and the scriptures. They shall be the very men that stand between the world and the abyss. They shall pass their knowledge of Mordred and his dark forces from generation to generation. They shall be the descendants of Father Matthias in both spirit and action, for he gave himself for the well-being of us all. Does that mean the Order want to prevent Mordred from gaining power again? 100-year-old crazy ass. Crazy. But assuming the people in the Order really believe in it, then why are they after me? I don't intend to bring Mordred or any other bad spirits back into the world. And even if, how could I? These guys are completely nuts. People have been murdered here because of this ghost story. And Angelina, does she believe in this? Huh. Time that I ask her just that. We're gonna meet at the lighthouse soon. Only the brave actions of this valiant man preserved us from Mordred. It is to him, Father Matthias, that we owe for our life and freedom. Let his name not be forgotten, no less his doom, but nevermore a man. Therefore, they shall be the descendant.
Turn over. There we go. And then there's more here.
And therefore, our brotherhood should operate in the spirit of this great man for all time. It shall serve beyond the dominion of the Church, free of all the conventions, and over and above all earthly jurisdiction. Commit yourselves only to your one aim, that you may take control of that higher power. Our great strength lies in our secrecy. We stand in the darkness, in the shadows, and look into the light, invisible to all who may impede us. For if no one knows we exist, then we cannot be stopped. Therefore, my brothers, hold to these rules. The members of the Order shall not be known to one another. Only the High Priest of the Order shall be able to call every member by name and rank. At Order assemblies, every brother shall be masked so that none may recognize him. No outsider may be informed by the Order, neither purposely nor through carelessness. Be wary, my brothers. Behave inconspicuously, but be wary. The day on which you must prove yourselves will come sooner than you think. And therefore our brotherhood it shall for if the member at all no be wary.
Okay, so that's the end of that. Still nothing with this key, so I guess we're not ever using that. This stuff kind of we already knew, effectively, right? That the members of the Order don't seem to know each other. Unless I'm thinking of some other game or book or something. But I think Maybe even a movie, but I'm pretty sure we heard that already in the game. But I might be mixing stuff up. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We know now, so. Trash bucket. Probably nothing in there, right?
Huh. Hardly anything in it. Oddly surprising, considering how little seems to go on here. Huh. I can see a tissue, some pieces of paper, and a chewing gum wrapper. Chewing gum, wrapped in aluminum foil. I just need a paper clip and then I can build an atomic bomb.
That's how it happens? Man, it's so shocking that we didn't figure out how to do an atomic bomb sooner. It's probably nothing new. We've already looked at that before.
A broken display cabinet. Nothing in it, of course.
I don't think so. We got the chewing gum, I guess, but I don't think we got anything else new in here. Let me just make sure, though. Hey, it's like, no, don't put the gum in the wrapper. Are you wanting to blow everybody up? Some people, so careless. Yeah. I don't think there's anything new in these. That's still going to be alarmed. He's still going to be like, yeah, I don't believe it. And then these two displays. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else here. Okay, so
A
this is a
card
lighthouse.
from the Willow Creek area. It's marked where the murders took place 12 years ago. 5 murder locations are marked. Now, whether these had anything to do with the alleged curse... A card, 5 murder locations.
I thought, okay, maybe I can't do it until I exit here or something. Maybe that's. Alright, let's head out, I guess. Like I said, I don't think there's anything else in here. I've already going back into the cupboard doesn't make sense to just be like, well, I want to go see Angelina. I don't want to go back in the cupboard. We've already read that. Let me check my diary, make sure we're not missing something. Look around. Code with the piano. Angelina. So there is. Ah, here we go. Chronicle of the Gordons. Yeah, we've read that now. Yep. So that was there. Okay, break out of the museum. It's probably the first time that someone wants to break out of a museum, but I've got an important date and I don't really feel like spending the rest of the night in the cleaning cupboard. She wants to meet at 11 p.m. this evening at the lighthouse. Apparently to explain everything. I'd love to believe her, but I can't. I should find out as much as possible before the meeting. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to exit there. We had in the middle of the week here, we had a... It was maybe within about 30 seconds, but we had a major like power outage. I have an uninterrupted power supply hooked up to my computer, so my computer stayed on and everything, but all of my clocks reset and everything anyway. So I'm a little bit paranoid that at any time, I mean, it's not the same storm anymore, but still I'm a little bit paranoid that at any time everything could go out. So even with my uninterrupted power supply, so
The door will be locked. And I guess it's also alarmed. I have to find myself another way out of here.
okay, so it is probably through the window.
Still the same weird shredding machine as yesterday. The window seems to be my only possibility to escape. Unfortunately, it's a little high up. The shredding machine looks pretty dangerous. I wouldn't just stand on it.
Yeah, I need something to put on top of that. I just don't know. Yeah, UPS. That's right. Fun act. Yeah, I try to welcome, by the way, to the stream. Yeah, I try to make sure my stuff is backed up. I actually got because I had a couple of things not protected. I got a new surge protector to hook some of my external hard drives to, so that they don't get, if the power dies, they don't, or if there's a surge in electricity, they don't get shocked. And I'm planning on plugging that into my surge protector as well, so then it should stay on. I have to double check, but I think I don't know if I'm doing it right now, but the plan is to have the uninterrupted power supply, the UPS, plugged directly into the wall, so it has power until the power goes out, and then it's got its power saved up, right? And then I have things like power strips plugged into the UPS, so that they will still have power, so I don't suddenly lose a hard drive or something, like a hard drive suddenly shuts down or something. My monitors I will not worry about, I think. Maybe I need to buy another UPS for them specifically, but I don't know if I like the idea of doing that. We'll see. Anyway, the only disadvantage on a UPS is it beeps when the power is off, which is fair because it warns you, but it's really loud, and so I might disturb my neighbors if it beeps too long. Okay, what am I going to put on top of that? Something out here, I guess. But what? There's no way I'm going to move the whole cupboard over there. The display cabinet probably won't work, right? Window.
The windows are closed off with heavy shutters, and they're probably alarmed. I'll not get out of there unnoticed.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Probably not the front windows. Yeah. Yep. Well, and there are various reasons it could happen too, right? If there's an electricity storm, like a lightning storm or something, that could obviously cause a problem. But there are other things too, like in the winter, or in the winter when there's heavy snow, or if you live in an area that has heavy snow generally, you could always have the weight of the snow could break a power line or something and cause a problem. Wooden plate, okay, that'll probably be what we want then.
A run-of-the-mill wooden board. It's part of the sewing machine. I'm sure no one will notice if this piece of wood goes missing. I'll take it.
Now I put that on top of this. And then stand on top of that.
The shred is covered. Huh. There are two metal strips, one on the wall and one on the window. That's gotta be a pretty simple alarm. As soon as you open the window, the contact is broken and the alarm is triggered.
Is this on those, right? And that won't stop the circuit from
You
being burned.
can't say movies aren't educational. That should be enough. The electricity will be conducted through the aluminum foil, even when the window's open. That went well. I should probably
Satan,
Not again.
from days done by till days be done. The same befalls each golden sun, a silent shadow hanging long. Gripping terror doth grow and grow, never cast into the light. Never is an end in sight.
What? What did you say? Where do you know this poem from?
The spirits of the forest whispered it to me.
Spirits of the forest? What's all that garbage?
Ghosts in robes. They've got horrible white faces. In the forest, near the haunted mine.
Hey, wait! Do you belong to the Order? Hello?
Like he's gonna tell you if he does.
That was the poem that Reginald Boris had on him. He probably belongs to the Order. And the bum said he heard the poem near the mine. I should go and have a look around there before I go and meet Angelina.
Of course I have yet another stop before meeting Angelina. Of course. Obviously.
So it's here. Man, what's wrong with me?
Visions of a sacrifice.
If I was superstitious, I'd say a couple of ghosts just tried to make contact with me. But let's be rational here. I'm probably just losing my mind. Fantastic. Oh well. Hopefully it's just lack of sleep and the exhaustion.
I don't like it either, but it was right to send him.
Members of the Order, I gotta hide.
I don't know where I can hide over here. Yeah, exactly.
I never would take on such precautions.
Once they opened the grave and the boy wasn't in it, I knew this would happen.
But he was so far away. Isn't it possible that the curse hadn't taken control of him?
She sees it differently. Otherwise, she wouldn't have tried to keep him captive.
Psst. She's coming. We thought we should meet in the mine today.
Miss
due to
Valley.
the weather. Is that okay with you?
It makes no difference.
I should have guessed. Miss Valley's behind all this. She's little Vic's sister. She's been really involved in the whole thing. And of course, being a librarian, she knew the Order's history. She must have convinced a few people from the village to get involved. Then, for whatever reason, they've targeted me. And this Miss Valley will stop at nothing. I'm sure of that. Was Angelina in her way? I gotta find out.
Really? They're trying to sneak out while they're still there? Holy crap, oh, they keep coming.
What does this mean? Why are we having this meeting?
Is there something new from Reginald?
What about the girl? Is she really here again?
Have you heard anything from Wales? There's some bad news. Brother Reginald is dead.
What the bloody hell did you just say?
Oh my god!
But this is not the time for mourning. The girl is still snooping around here, and what's worse, he has escaped.
How?
What are we gonna do if he finds out?
Silence. The danger is near. Very near. Both the girl and our American friend could destroy everything we've created over the last few years. I'm afraid we're forced into taking drastic measures.
But we can't.
We've got no other choice.
I better get out of here.
What was that?
Is someone there? It's him!
Stop the
Darren,
door!
it's all
The
right.
door!
We're not
Don't
going
let
to
him
hurt
escape!
you. Be careful!
You've got no chance.
I said stop him!
Don't let him escape!
Oh, damn!
Open the door.
He mustn't escape.
I'm out of here.
Okay. We pause really fast, or we pause for a little bit. I have to use the bathroom. We'll play for a while still after I get back, so don't worry, we're not almost done or anything yet. We'll play for a bit still going on, but I have to use the bathroom. I'll be probably about 5 minutes, so go get some tea or coffee or something, or go use the bathroom yourself or whatever. I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, I'm finally back. I apologize. Dramatic music. Because I'm trying to think, I mean, since I've got it on pause, I'll just explain here. So I'm trying to think where I could go. This is just emptiness, right? Like you'd go here and you'd fall probably and die. You go back in here and swim, potentially maybe back to the other side, but if I do that, I'm just going to be trapped on the other side. Plus, they could get through... I can go these doors here and lock them, maybe? I forgot that I opened these. Maybe I could go through here and lock the doors. Maybe. Okay, well, let's... Okay.
There he is! Come on, hurry up!
He's closing the door.
Push it!
I can't hold it closed forever. Very good. The iron bars have blocked the door for a while. Happening. But it must be possible to open the door with this lever. I'll keep trying.
Still not even sure what exactly I'm trying to do.
Half of the hose. No idea who tidied it up again.
Quick! We'll have to pry it open.
Use the lever.
The sewers. Did I do a wrong order maybe? Because I'm not sure. Oh, there's an iron bar.
An iron bar. Perhaps I can fend off the guy with it. Good. I'll knot the hose tight in the middle of the bar.
Climb back out, I guess, maybe.
Perhaps it'll work. Yes! The bar's lying across the mouth of the pipe.
There he is! Shoot!
Too late! Grab him!
Crap, really? Am I just trying to find my way out of here again? Son of a... You're kidding, right? Alright, hang on. Where's my paper? Where I wrote all this crap down. Not that. I did not know I was gonna have to go through this again. This is not fair. Shoot. That is not the one. Is it this one? I don't think so. think this is it. And then when I got through the other side... So if I am here, I'm going to go down this way. Okay, so here. And then across to here. Across to here. And then from this, but I've entered there. Go. Really? Hang on. Oh, I entered there. Yeah, so I want to go over here. Back from here. Where's the grate? Shoot, I don't remember which one. Oh no, there it is. So I'm there, so I should come out the top right. Then I want to go down over here. And then up.
There's an iron ladder on the wall. I ought to be somewhere under the car park or thereabouts.
Still locked. Still locked.
There's a metal cover at the top of the ladder. It's not gonna move an inch. Oh, hi, Murray.
What the hell's going on here? You can smell that stench through the whole hotel. Pack your things immediately and get out of here!
There's something I gotta do very urgently, Murray. I'll be as quick as I can, and I promise it won't happen again.
No, it certainly won't.
All right, then. I'm here. What's going on? Come out here and show yourself!
I didn't know he was going to yell again when he got to the tall grass. I thought he was going to examine it. Okay. I guess that's the thing.
Angelina? Where are you? Angelina! Angelina! I'd do anything for you. Why didn't you just tell me the truth? Oh no. Angelina.
Is that actually her? It could be. I don't know. That sucks if it is. Yeah, I hope that was not Angelina, but it might have been. People die all the time in this game, or this series of games, so. There's light coming from in there. Interesting.
Where am I? Something's not quite right here.
Yeah, you think?
It says Fuller. What's Fuller's grave doing here? Ugh!
You pussy. I'm gonna get you.
We'll see about that.
So he's somehow in the Gordon family bloodline, and
What the hell was that? Did I see a ghost?
and now the hallucinations are starting for him. Well, he's already had some before. He thought he saw a ghost down in the Order's headquarters area anyway, for sure.
Huh? Mom?
Darren? Darren, is that you?
Mom, what? But you're...
Yeah, exactly.
You're not my son anymore.
But I... What the... I don't believe it.
We've done the grave. We've done the tree. What else is going to cause him to have little blood splatter brief flashes as he has weird nightmares and stuff? It was inside probably, right? Because we saw the light coming in from in there. I'm not sure if there's anything else out here. Doesn't seem like it. Seems like we're going inside. Okay.
Ah!
What's Boris now? Multiple Borises. 3 of them.
Ah!
Yeah. We're definitely going insane. And now we're not even remotely close to where we were. What the hell is going on? Okay.
What a crazy dream. What was that? Hello? Ah!
Were you having a nightmare?
What? Who are you?
I'm Ralph.
My name's
Ralph.
Darren. Where am I? Is this the old academy?
Mr. Bubby and I live here.
Mr. Bubby, huh?
Isn't it dangerous here? The ruins look like they're in danger of collapsing.
Sometimes stones do fall down when it's stormy and there's thunder, or if the wind's blowing wildly. But then we always hide anyway. Mr. Bubby is scared of thunderstorms.
Are there good hiding places here then? Maybe some hidden rooms or passages?
We always hide ourselves here in our house. Nothing can happen to us here.
Yeah, sure. Did you see the big fire at the lighthouse?
Yeah, I like fire.
You wouldn't have liked this one.
Angelina was here. She came, and then she went, and then she was there again, and then there was someone wearing a white mask, and then there was fire.
Hold on. You know Angelina?
Yes, she was here a lot.
So, there was Angelina and a man with a mask, and then there was a fire?
Yes. First we hid ourselves because it was thundering, and the bad man wasn't supposed to see us. But then the fire had shone so nice, we just looked. I like fire.
Yeah, and then?
Then the fire went out. The rain put it out. Then you came. You were calling out loudly, but I didn't know what. Then you fell down and stopped moving. Mr. Bubby said I ought to get you into the dry.
Tell Mr. Bubby thanks from me. That was a good idea.
Mr. Bubby says, my pleasure. We don't often get visitors here.
What happened then?
Then the police arrived. We don't like them. They wanted to take us away to here. Then along came a really nice black car. It looked a lot different from the police cars, or the cars we sometimes see in the village. It looked kind of old, but it was very nice and shiny. But it wasn't there for long.
Did you see who was sitting in it?
No.
Hey, DKS, welcome. Been a long time, yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Yeah, something's not right in his head. Ralph, Mr. Bubby is back. Last time we met them was Samuel at the asylum. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He was the one through the wall, right? We had the room where... Who was it was being kept? I don't remember his name. The one that the uncle was experimenting on. There was that chamber we were trying to look into for more information, and then there's the hole in the wall, and Ralph and Bubby were through that hole in the wall, right? I think so. Yeah, as they do. As they do. I don't have any myself, but I remember, like, friends had little kids, and my sister had, so I have a niece, so my sister had a little daughter, so they, like, I would babysit, or even just sit around visiting a friend or something, and then, like, their kid would be really up and about. So I don't know to the extent you do, for sure. I don't, because I'm not a parent, but I can imagine. I mean, just in the little short bits I've had, they've been a handful, so for sure. 4.5. Nice. Yeah. Is it, well, I guess they say it's the terrible twos, but is it the 4 to 5 range, something like that, when they start saying, like, but why all the time? There's some age somewhere around there where they always ask why about everything practically.
What are you two doing here? You and Mr. Bubby?
We live here.
You've already said, but is there nowhere else you could live?
No, the evil house where we used to live doesn't exist anymore, and we didn't want to go back there anyway.
Could it be that you once lived in Sir Robert's sanatorium?
And Mr. Bubby too. He protects me and tells me what I have to do.
It's good to have a friend.
And Mr. Bubby says that all the time too.
Yep, I figured it was somewhere around there. Yeah. Yeah.
You know Black Mirror Castle?
I've never been there. I think there are bad people that live there. Sir Robert lived there, and he was bad.
Yes, he was.
Our friend Samuel used to know the castle.
Samuel Gordon?
He used to help me and Mr. Bubby. I liked him. But then when they shut down Sir Robert's wicked house, they said that Samuel was a wicked person as well. I don't believe that. Sometimes you do things that are wrong, but you don't mean to be wicked. Wicked voices make you do it, said Mr. Bubby.
Of course, the person who struggles with mental health is going to approve of somebody else who struggled with mental health. That's right. Obviously.
You said that Angelina was here quite often.
Yeah?
When was the first time she was here?
I don't know.
Approximately. Around about... What do you reckon?
100 years ago?
Huh. And what did she do here?
She had a very careful look around at everything, and then she found our house. She said she was looking for something. A door that led under the ground.
When she was here yesterday and disappeared for a short while, where was that?
I don't know. Mr. Bubby wanted to make himself nice for her and didn't look.
Mr. Bubby wanted to make himself nice for Angelina?
I think Mr. Bubby was a bit in love with her. But he could never bring himself to tell her.
And now, it's too late.
Maybe he'll tell her next time, when she comes to visit us. You think she'll come and see us again soon?
That's, I don't know, Ralph. Perhaps. I need to get going, Ralph.
See you.
See you. Aw. Good old Ralph again. Yeah, that was nice to see him again. It's been a while. Poor guy. He's kind of just been a casualty of everything, right? Casualty of Robert's evil experiments. Casualty of Samuel letting him go, but then there's nowhere for them to go as inmates, or inmates, that's like prisoner, right? Whatever. Patients, former patients.
This must have been a grand hall. Maybe with a gallery. There's the remains of the first story.
Nothing on the walls, yeah.
I think it's an elder bush, but I'm not 100% sure. The branches are very long and straight, too. Very typical for them. It's pretty difficult to break off branches like these when the bush is full of sap. They have a thick, flexible bark and fibrous inner that you simply can't snap. It's pretty difficult to... They have a thick...
I see. So we would... If I don't know, this is just assuming we do. If at some point we want a branch from here, then we probably have to saw it or use some kind of garden shears or something to clip it, right?
The staircase leads to nothing. It must have fallen down at some point. The raven flew out of a crack in the rock. There might be a cavity behind that. A heavy stone pedestal. There are 4 recesses. I can see some remaining bits of black and white coloring in between. Like a chessboard. If this is supposed to be some kind of chessboard, then the pieces are conspicuous in their absence. I still haven't got all the pieces together.
I am supposed to gather them, just double checking, okay.
These stones look a bit weird somehow. They don't look like they've all fallen like this just by chance. It looks like they've been stacked up.
So let's unstack them and see.
There's a little stone figure. Could be a chess piece.
Hey, Darren, you're in England now? The term is not figure, it's figure. Say it like the English say it.
A solid stone slab. It looks like there could be a space behind it. But how can I shift this slab? It's gotta weigh a ton.
He says he doesn't believe in ghosts, but apparently this door's going to open and he's going to go into outer space. Pretty sure that's not a thing.
A solid stone slab. It looks like there could be a space behind it. But how can I shift this slab? It's gotta weigh a ton.
Yeah, that's going to be something with these pieces, for sure. I got one of these. Probably put this on here. I don't know if the order's important. I guess possibly, but probably not. Probably just need the 4 since they're absent.
I heard a quiet click.
I'm sure it's still locked. I need all 4, I'm assuming.
A solid stone slab. But how can I shift?
Yeah. Yep, I'm sure this will just... We'll visibly see that open when we have the 4 pieces. But we've only got 1 for now, so obviously that's a thing. Could go ask Ralphie again, see if he knows of any other pieces. No. I'm not seeing anything else to interact with. I'm totally probably just missing it. And there are, of course, another couple of screens. There's back out where Ralph and Bubby are. There's outside of the lighthouse as well, right? Could be something out there. So, it's probably not all 4 will be on this screen. Probably have to go to other screens. Maybe do a conversation with Ralph, and then he turns out to have the other pieces or know where they are in the conversation. That's probably more likely than just that all 4 would be here. Yeah, so let's go back out and talk to Ralph, I guess. Although I'll look in the bush again really fast before we go. Figure. Yeah. Trying to think. I know there are, or I'm positive there are at least a couple other words in English that are spelled that way that we use the same pronunciation, but I cannot think of them off the top of my head. So, but yeah, it's just American versus British English, and I don't know, there might be some accents in England that say it the way we do in America too, but we say figure. I think it's because the hard G into an we don't like the G sound there for some reason. Figure. Anyway, so we say figure versus British say figure. Figure. That's an action figure. I don't like those.
It's pretty difficult to break off Brant. They have a thick...
Okay, so he's not searching in there. Yeah, let's talk to Ralphie and see if he has anything more. Maybe he knows more about the missing pieces.
Hello, Ralph?
Hi, Darren.
Hi, Ralph.
I saw a raven there a short while ago.
We don't like him. He's always screeching and flapping, and he steals things.
He steals things?
He once stole the lid off one of our cans.
He likes shiny things.
Me too. And it was our lid.
You're right, Ralph. He definitely did steal from you. How dare he?
Do you, by any chance, know anything about the chess pieces that are hidden somewhere around here?
What are chess pieces?
Little figures that are kind of kings, queens, castles, and knights. They're usually small and made out of wood. But I'm looking for bigger ones made from stone.
Mr. Bubby found one like that. It's a horse, a really nice one.
Hey, cool. Would you lend it to me?
It's Mr. Bubby's toy.
And would Mr. Bubby lend it to me?
Mr. Bubby plays with the horse. If you take it away, then he'll have nothing left to play with.
Ah, I understand. But what if I brought him something else to play with? What is he like playing with?
With horses?
And, what else?
Mr. Bubby likes music. Maybe you can get him something he can play music on. You can get him a piano.
That could be a problem.
Get him a piano. We'll just move the piano in.
I need to get going, Ralph.
See you.
So sure. He's like, the wheels on the piano are like clogged with mud, and he's like, gotta give it to Ralph and Bubby, come on. Yeah, that's gonna happen. It's funny. So there's a horse. You found a knight. Wind chime.
They look like they've been hanging there for decades. They sound eerie.
Go over to the academy? Oh, I didn't know we could go to the academy from here. Some of the others have burned grass and so on.
I can still see her. The charred body hunched so unnaturally. Terrible. I'll never be able to forget this image my whole life long. The fire didn't spread much. The grass was already wet before it rained. Those bastards covered her in gasoline and put a match to her. I hope she was already... I hope she didn't have to suffer too long. When I get my hands on these guys, I'll avenge Angelina. And I'll avenge myself. They've taken away the only person that still meant something to me.
Meaning was it's better to say something than be silent. Yeah.
Wind and rain will wash away the ashes. The grass will grow. And in a month, it'll look as if nothing ever happened. But no one will forget Angelina. I'll make sure of that.
He lost woman he loved. Oh, crevice. Oh, and there's a hand grab. Maybe there's a figure in there.
What's that amongst the stones?
A chess piece. Yep.
A chess piece. The king. I wonder who put the chess piece there. It can't have been sitting there between the stones long. It's not been weathered at all and looks brand new.
You probably put it there yourself and just you don't remember because you're slowly but surely going insane. Maybe.
There's a knife sticking out of the wooden beam. It looks like someone's been carving into the beam. With little talent, but a lot of patience.
Might use that. If I find a block, maybe I can use that to carve something? Maybe. I don't know about that. Is the academy, is that back? That's not back over to the property in Wales, right? That's not close by. We're back closer to Willow Creek. So what would that be? Let's see what's over there. Oh, that's this. Yeah, it is this. So, do I not get inside then? Oh, I guess I don't get inside this. I thought I was going to get inside. I thought I was inside the lighthouse talking to Ralph. He's over at the academy. Oh, note.
A small smudged note. It says, the king went north, the pawn went south, the queen... I can hardly read the rest. And the knight to the... something ST.
King went north. The pawn went south. The queen... I can hardly read the rest. And the knight to the... something ST. King went north. The pawn went south. The queen... I can hardly read the rest. The knight to the... something ST. King went north. The pawn went south. The queen... I can hardly read the rest. The knight to the... something ST.
The words on the note are partly smudged, but there is... The king went north, the pawn went south, the queen... I can hardly read the rest.
And the knight ST. So if we say that's north, that's south. So west would be Ralph. So east could be north, south, west, east. Does that mean I go to Willow Creek? I wouldn't think so, but maybe. Let's see.
A card from the Willow Creek area. It's marked where the murders took place 12 years ago. I want to find out what Angelina was looking for in the runes first.
Okay, so north, south, west, so east. Somewhere over here?
It's pretty difficult to break off branches like they have a thick...
Yeah, there's that still. Try this, though. Maybe cut them with a knife.
I'll cut a little piece out of a branch. A small piece of wood from out of the elder bush. It's damp, and you can clearly recognize the thick bark and the light-colored wooden core. A small piece of wood. I saw that on TV once. If you hit the bark with a hard object, like with a knife, then the bark loosens itself from the wood. Then, with just a bit of pressure, you can push the piece of wood out of the bark. Just cut a slit in the bark here, push the piece of wood back in a little, and there you go. A whistle.
I give whistle to Ralph, and Bubby will be able to play something that makes music. Maybe give us the night.
Hello, Ralph?
Hi, Darren.
Hi, Darren. He's excited when we show up.
Hey, Ralph. Have a look at what I got here.
Wow! That's much better than a piano.
And smaller, too. Now, can I just borrow the horse for a short while if I give you the whistle for it?
Okay.
So we just need the queen somewhere, but I don't know where. From the bush we got that. There's not anything. I'm trying to think if there's. I don't know where we're gonna find the queen. Oops.
I heard a quiet click. I heard a quiet click.
So now I just need the queen from the east. So it's referring to the chessboard is what it's referring to. King north. Knight ST, so west. But I still need to find the queen piece, but then the queen piece will go over on the east side, or the west, the east side if this is. Oh, maybe not. Cause that'd be if this is north. Was it north or south?
The words on the note are partly the king went north, the pawn went south.
Yeah, king north, pawn south. Oh, but it's ST. Could have been east too. Yeah, so knight went east, So Queen went west. The Raven steals things. If we can get the Raven, maybe the Raven will have... Either the Raven will have, possibly, the Queen on it, or maybe we can follow the Raven back to its place or something. But I don't see the Raven right now, so I'm not sure how I would do that. Not seeing her around in here at all. Yay! Ralph has music to entertain himself. That's great. Not seeing anything more in here. Hideout. So when he looks at the hideout, what does he say?
This shed looks anything but livable. On the other hand, Ralph will be better off here than in a sanatorium. You can't begin to imagine what that crazy Robert had done with the inmates.
Yeah.
Not exactly what you'd call a cozy home sweet home. The corrugated iron will keep the rain off, but it must get hellish cold in there, especially in winter. Poor guy.
It's cute that Ralph has Bubby play some, and then he claps, or vice versa, whichever it is. It's cute.
A weird stone head. It looks rather like a troll. That doesn't seem to have any practical purpose. I think it's only there to intimidate visitors.
Getting other stuff show up. I wonder where the last chess piece is. So you got one from him, got one over in the ruins here, and I got one outside. I mean, I guess I'd have just as much of a chance of finding another outside than I do the other thing. That's back to Willow Creek. I don't want to do that yet. Interesting. Well, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not seeing anything to interact with. So, alright. I think we'll stop here for today. Made quite a bit of progress, though. We're into chapter 5, so that's good, right? Okay, so that's it for that. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, so now it'll be a little over 7 hours. We will be doing Whispering Village. So that one is, so the Whisperer was not exactly horror. It was kind of just like mystery or something. The Whispering Village is horror. If you've not seen it yet and you have some time, I would recommend watching what I did a week ago. So the last stream from last weekend, because that will catch you up to what's going on. But it's definitely a horror point and click. It's not just kind of, it's absolutely a horror point and click. So it's not super scary, but it has the kind of creepy atmosphere, and suddenly something will happen, and looming threat and everything. And anyway, it's definitely horror. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. But I look forward to seeing you guys whenever you can show up next. And if you can't until next weekend or something, let me know. On Discord, I put a poll out. If you're going to be able to make it, I'll have next weekend free. I should be around. So if anybody wants to still watch my stream next weekend, then I'll do that. Just let me know. Till next time. Peace.
Poor spider.
This freaking boy. Oh, that's so sad.